morning students. We are back to chapter 3 electrochemistry. Today we are going to see about Nernst equation. We have already seen about the standard electrode potential. What is standard electrode potential? When the concentration of all the species involved in the reaction, when it is equal to unity, then I will be calling that as standard electrode potential. Now the standard electrode potential is not always true. What happens? Consider this reduction reaction where M plus electron gives Me. This is a reduction reaction. Now if I am going to write an N plus here, then I am going to write the number of electrons. So N plus N electrons will be giving rise to M. This is nothing but reduction reaction. Here the electrode potential at any concentration with respect to standard hydrogen electrode will be expressed as E, which is nothing but electrode potential. This M plus is nothing but oxidized reduced form. This is standard electrode potential oxidized reduced form minus RT by NF log of M by M concentration, that is Mn plus by M. See, what is this R? R is nothing but universal gas constant. T is nothing but temperature, which is nothing but 298 Kelvin. N is nothing but a number of species. F is nothing but Faraday's constant. This is nothing but a log. This is cell potential. This is standard electrode potential. We know already what is standard electrode potential. Standard electrode potential means the concentration of all the species involved in a reaction will be unity. But this is not always true in all the cases. For example, in Nernst equation, I have taken an oxidation reduction reaction. So I have involved the constant. I have written the equation now. Suppose I have a Daniell cell. The Daniell cell will be having copper sulfate and zinc sulfate. So the ions involved will be copper and zinc. So this is a common reaction. I am going to rewrite the common reaction with oxidation reduction, which I have expressed as M plus, and M will be replaced by copper and zinc. Now this is nothing but reaction which is happening at the cathode. And in anode, what happens to the reaction? The same set of reaction except only one difference. What is that difference? Instead of copper oxidized and reduced form, at anode I will be having zinc. That is Zn2 plus by Zn. This is the reaction at cathode. This is the reaction at the anode. So now here the cell potential is equal to electrode potential of reduced and oxidized copper minus the cell potential which is involving zinc ions. Now this reaction can be rewritten as, when you take the common factors, the reaction becomes, cell potential is equal to standard cell potential minus RT by 2F. You know why instead of number N I have replaced the term 2? Because here two species are involved. One is copper, the other is 1. So I have substituted N is equal to 2 and I have got the final equation as this. See here what happens. The cell potential is directly related to the concentration of copper and zinc. When cell potential increases when the concentration of copper increases and the concentration of zinc decreases. So when cell potential increases, when copper's concentration is increasing and zinc concentration is decreasing. I am going to substitute the log to base 10. I am going to substitute the value of temperature as 298 Kelvin, and I am substituting the value of Faraday's and universal gas constant. I will be getting the same equation with only one difference. What? Because I have substituted all these values, so I will be getting the same equation except this term will be replaced by this term. Since I am using a Daniell cell, in the Daniell cell I have closed the circuit, so the reaction will be zinc, it becomes oxidized, copper reduced. So it is nothing but a vice versa reaction. So what happens in the Daniell cell when the circuit is closed? So what happens in the Daniell cell when the circuit is closed? I have given the oxidation reduction here. This is nothing but a redox coupled reaction. As time passes process, what happens to the concentration of zinc? The concentration of zinc goes on increasing and the concentration of copper keeps decreasing. When I am measuring the voltage with the help of voltmeter, the voltage is kept on decreasing. Now what happens after some time, there is no change in the concentration of copper and zinc and the voltmeter is measuring the voltage as 0. So what is the condition of this reaction? My reaction has reached an equilibrium. So in equilibrium, the standard reaction becomes standard electrode potential is equal to 2.303 RT log concentration of zinc minus concentration of copper. Since it is at equilibrium, the concentration of zinc and copper will be equal to Kc, which is nothing but an equilibrium constant which we have studied in class 11. So the final equation becomes standard electrode potential is equal to this term with log Kc. So this equation plays an important role because this equation is going to relate my standard electrode potential and the equilibrium constant. So my Nernst equation is going to relate the standard electrode potential with equilibrium constant done. So what is Nernst equation? In Nernst equation I have only one condition. What is the condition? The concentration of all the species is not equal to 1. Because the condition is all the species should be equal to 1. That is not true. So what happens to the equation? When I am running a DC circuit, I mean Daniell cell with the circuit closed, what happens to the concentration of zinc and copper? So finally at equilibrium, my concentration of zinc and copper will be equal to equilibrium constant. So my Nernst equation is relating my standard electrode potential with equilibrium constant. Yes. Yeah, we have related electrical conductivity with the equilibrium constant. Next we are going to relate the reaction potential with an important thermodynamic property called Gibbs free energy. I mean Gibbs free energy of a reaction. What is electrical work done? Okay, what is electrical work done per second? Electrical work done per second is equal to cell potential or electrode potential multiplied with charge. So we have already seen in Nernst equation how electrode potential is related to my equilibrium constant. So next is I am going to relate my reaction or electrode potential with respect to an important thermodynamic property called Gibbs free energy. So what is electrical work? Electrical work is nothing but electrode potential into charge. So here I am going to relate this electrical work done per second. So what is electrical work done per second? Which is equal to cell potential into total charge passed. Now if I want to extract maximum work from the galvanic cell, then this charge passed should be in the reverse direction. So the reverse work done by the galvanic cell should be equal to decrease in the free energy, which is nothing but Gibbs free energy. So what is, if the EMF of a cell is E, the amount of charge passed is NF, because already I have told you what is electrical work. Electrical work is nothing but E cell, which is nothing but cell potential into charge. Now the cell potential is indicated by the term E. Okay. Now this charge is indicated by the term NF. So what is Gibbs free energy of a reaction? Gibbs free energy of a reaction is nothing but minus NFE. We know the cell potential is an intrinsic property which does not depend on any value, while your delta GR, that is Gibbs free energy of a reaction, is an extrinsic property because it is completely dependent on the value N. I am just coming back to the galvanic cell reaction where a redox coupled reaction between oxidation and reduced state of zinc and copper. For this reaction, my value of N is equal to 2 because two species are involved in the reaction. So my delta GR is equal to minus 2 Fe. Now consider if the reaction is like this, that is 2Z plus 2 copper gives 2 Zn plus 2 copper minus. So in this case, what happens to delta Gr? Since the number of species involved is 2 and 2, which is nothing but 4, so delta Rg will be minus 4 Fe. Done. Say for example, this is a standard electrode potential where the concentration of all the species is equal to 1. Then what happens to delta Gr? Then delta Gr is equal to NFE. N is equal to 1, so it is nothing but the same value. See, from this equation, from the electrode potential, the Gibbs free energy change of a reaction can easily be calculated. That's all. So this is your reaction which is going to relate your electrode potential with my Gibbs free energy, this reaction, okay. The standard, the electrode potential of a reaction is related to Gibbs free energy change. So we have seen Nernst equation, how electrode potential is related to Kc, which is nothing but equilibrium constant, and in Gibbs free energy, how your electrode potential is related to Gibbs free energy change. Moving to the next topic, which is nothing but conductance of electrolytic solution. Before going to the topic, how your electrolytic solution or conducting electricity, how my electrolytic or ionic solution is able to conduct electricity, I need to know some few terms. What are the terms? The first term will be electrical resistance. What is the first term? Electrical resistance. Electrical resistance is indicated by the symbol R. What is its units? Its unit is ohm. Its SI unit is nothing but kilogram meter square. How to determine electrical resistance? Electrical resistance can be determined by Wheatstone bridge experiment, which you might have studied in physics. Now, my resistance is directly proportional to length and cross section. It is directly proportional to length and cross section. We know already, if I am going to remove this proportionality constant, if I am going to put an is equal to symbol, then I will be introducing a constant. So what constant is added here? I have removed the proportionality constant. So I have added an equal to sign plus I have added an constant. This constant is called as rho. What is this constant called? Rho. So now what is rho? Rho can be defined as, or rho can be denoted as resistivity or specific resistance. What is rho? Rho is resistivity or specific resistance. What is the unit of rho? Unit of rho will be ohm meter or ohm centimeter. Done. So we know what is resistance, we have seen, and what is resistivity, we have seen. What is resistance? Directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to cross section. What is rho? Rho is nothing but resistivity or specific resistance. Now, what is the inverse of resistance? Inverse of resistance is nothing but conductance. What is inverse of resistivity? Inverse of resistivity is nothing but conductivity. So what is R? R is resistance. What is inverse of R? It is nothing but conductance. What is 1 by rho? Means what is this rho? Rho is nothing but resistivity. What is 1 by rho? It is nothing but conductivity. It is nothing but conductivity. So, inverse of resistivity is conductivity or conductance. Its unit is Siemens. What is the unit of resistance? It is ohms. Since your conductance is nothing but inverse of resistance, I have written this ohms as 1 by ohm, which is nothing but mho. Mho is the unit of conductance. What is resistivity? Resistivity is rho. So 1 by rho is equal to kappa. Kappa is nothing but your conductivity. What is rho? Rho is resistivity. What is the inverse of resistivity? Inverse of resistivity is conductivity. What is that unit called? That constant called? That constant is called as K, which is nothing but kappa. What is the SI unit of this conductivity? It is seconds per meter. See, the International Union of Physics and Applied Chemists, they have prescribed the use of conductivity rather conductance. So, we will be seeing the rest of the chapter in terms of conductivity, not in terms of conductance. So, Your conductivity is dependent on three important factors. One is it depends upon the nature of material, it depends upon temperature, and it depends upon pressure. And based on the magnitude of conductivity, substances are classified into four types. First one is conductors, insulators, semiconductors, superconductors. Based on the magnitude of conductivity, whether they are strong or weak, substances are classified into four categories, into four ways. The first one is nothing but conductors. As the name indicates, they show stronger conductivity. Example, metals, alloys, non-metals like carbon black, graphite and polymers. These are conductors. What are insulators? Substances which show very less conductivity are called as insulators. Example, glass, ceramics. What are semiconductors? The name itself is giving me a clue. Semi, they are in between. So their conductivity is in between conductors and insulators. Hence they are called as semiconductors. Example of semiconductors is silicon, germanium, arsenide, etc. What are superconductors? Superconductors have zero resistivity, infinite conductivity. What are superconductors? They have zero resistivity and infinite conductivity. Example of superconductors include metals and alloys at low temperature, that is 15 Kelvin. Even your ceramics and mixed oxides also act as superconductors at very high temperatures, which is nothing but 150 Kelvin. So in today's session, we have seen how to relate electrode potential with equilibrium constant, Nernst equation, how to relate it with Gibbs free energy, then what is resistance, specific resistance, both are same. Then what is conductivity? Conductivity term is used in preference to conductance. What is the unit of resistance? Ohm. What is the unit of conductance? It is mho. Then how the substances are classified based on the magnitude of conductivity, how they are classified into four types. In the next session, we will be seeing about the proper electrical conductance of electrolyte solution. Then what is conductivity, molar conductivity. Then we will be seeing about batteries. Thank you.